Okay. How are you, Vilaji?
All fine, Prabhuji. Very nicely. We have come up to now 4 chapters over, and we have come to the 5th by your grace.
All Krishna's grace, Prabhupada's grace.
Yeah.
Step by step come to
Step by step. Yeah, one chapter at a time, one at a time. We have completed.
moving forward. Slowly, steadily moving forward.
Yes.
Good, good. Right. So, Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna. We have completed 4 chapters now. It is at least in Bhagavad Gita, my book, it is 270 pages completed.
Yes, Prabhuji. Same here.
Yeah, so you can say we have completed. The second chapter is a big chapter, and the first 3 chapters also are quite. So you can say almost we have covered 30%. Okay, so good progress.
Very good.
Okay. So Shobhaji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Your health is okay now?
Yeah, I'm all fine, thank you.
Good. Hare Krishna, dear Krishna Prabhu, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Looks like today you have less attendance.
Yes.
Anyway, fine. Those who are they must be busy with something else. Okay. Sharma ji, Hare Krishna. MGM Sharma ji. Okay. So let's begin our session with the prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki Jai Jai Gaur ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Welcome everyone for the Friday evening session on Bhagavad Gita overview on chapter 5. Today we're going to begin the new chapter. Chapter 5 is titled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So before we begin, let's understand the difference between third chapter and this chapter having almost same title. Right? So third chapter, if you see, Prabhupada is writing it as Karma Yoga, or the discharge of one's prescribed duty in Krishna consciousness. That's what Prabhupada is ending as the, thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of chapter 3, Karma Yoga, or discharge of prescribed duty in Krishna consciousness. Whereas fifth chapter, Prabhupada says Karma Yoga or action in Krishna consciousness. So what is the difference? We begin our actions, or rather we begin our whatever activities we do in a prescribed way, in a particular way. This has to be done this way, this has to be done this way, right? Then with a proper understanding, with a proper knowledge, what happens is that your action is further and further refined. The same action is further, you can say, fine-tuned in terms of your consciousness, in terms of your intention and offering and your faith. Everything is added there. So many other aspects of your devotional elements are added, and then it is offered as an action, right? So it's like, I'll give a simple example. You are told to offer food to Krishna. Maybe you don't know that food also has to be offered to Krishna in the beginning times, right? You just eating whatever you cook and eat. At least this is prescribed action. Before eating, what you should do? You should offer food to Krishna. Right? Prescription is there now. So prescribed duty, without offering food, you should not take. This prescription you are following. You are offering every day, and slowly one day you start thinking, what I am doing in offering, whether Krishna is eating or not, right? How is eating? These questions will come. As you are moving forward in Krishna consciousness, you'll understand, yes, Krishna is Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality. He's eating. And his eating is not like our eating. It is a spiritualized eating. He eats and also gives all that food what he has eaten to us as prasadam. Right? Then the whole understanding of offering and honoring the prasadam itself has gone to one more level. Right? This is what his action Krishna consciousness means. Which means there is a elevation in your consciousness. That's the meaning. Right? You begin your actions, say at ground zero. You entered the school, LKG. And as you're moving forward, you have to go higher and higher and higher and higher. That's the point. I'll give one more example in Bhagavad Gita. In the 7th chapter, later we'll see. Krishna says there are 4 types of people who are sukritinaha, who are having some pious credit, because of which they come and surrender to me. Who are they? Arto, Jignasu, Artharti, Jnani, cha Bharatarshava, Chaturvidha, Bhajante Mam. So the 4 types of people who worship me, they are Artha. Artho means one who is in distress. Okay? A lot of problems. So go to God and pray, take out this problem from me, relieve my problem. Right? Artho. Food problem, but Prabhupada says bread problem. We go to church and pray, God give us our daily bread. Artha, distressed. Food, shelter, health, so many problems. Artho, Jignasu. Artho, Artharti. Next is Artha. Artha means money. Financial or property. Examples are given. Artha, example is given in scriptures. One elephant by name Gajendra. He was in great distress. He was attacked by crocodile. He prayed to Krishna and Lord came, helped him. Artha means need of wealth or some opulence. Example is given of Dhruva Maharaj, who was insulted by his stepmother, and he wanted a kingdom better than his father. So he went to the forest looking for Krishna. Finally, when Lord appeared, he was so much purified that he, instead of asking for the kingdom, he told, "What a fool I am! I don't want anything. I just want your shelter." Right. So Artho, Artha, Jignasu. Jignasu means inquisitive. Oh, who is God? Who am I? I want to know. Inquisitiveness, right? Some type of people are there. Just example is given. The sages of Naimisharanya are very inquisitive. It is the 3rd example. They are inquisitive about what is the situation of Kali Yuga is like this. Kali Yuga people are so degraded. What is the hope for them? And Krishna is Lord. How, what is the process we have to do? So these were the questions they had. And Jnani, pure devotees, great devotees, who completely depend on Krishna. You have great Mahajanas. You have Prahlad Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj. So great devotees. Jnani means they are in full knowledge, they are doing devotion. So why I give this example is, Krishna also in that context, he explains, there are 4 types of people who come and surrender to me. Of all of them, one who is in knowledge, who offers service to me, is the best, he says. Why? Because when you offer devotional service with knowledge, it is backed up with proper understanding of who is Krishna, what is my position, what is devotional service. All that understanding is there in his background. That makes it more, you can say, valuable, or you can value, he values the action, what he's doing. Right? That's the point. So basically, any activity of devotion is having a very wonderful philosophical understanding. Not that it is done out of sentiment. Say a person who is in distress or in need of money or jignasu, to some extent, may be carried away by sentiment. But bhakti is not sentiment. Not bhakti is sentiment also, but it is backed with a proper understanding. As Prabhupada says in one of the purports we have read in 3rd chapter, devotional service is not simply sentimentalism. It is having a proper sound philosophical understanding. That's the point. So this chapter is going to give us that wonderful perspective of how a devotee, when he is moving forward in his bhakti, he is backed with a proper philosophical understanding, proper spiritual understanding. That's the reason the previous chapter, knowledge, transcendental knowledge, Krishna has given. With that knowledge in the background, he is functioning, he is acting. Right? Our background mind should be filled with a proper background of understanding what we are doing, to whom we are acting, what is my real position. Our foreground mind is acting with that understanding, with that background. Right? There is a connection, there is a link, there is a synchronization. That's the point. The 5th chapter is basically telling us, when you are going to act in Krishna consciousness, with what background you are acting and how it is acted in a nice way in every aspect of your life. Right? That's the point. It is what this chapter is titled, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. The first verse, Arjuna Uvacha, Sanyasam Karmanam Krishna, Punar Yogam Cha Shamshasi, Yashreya Etayor Ekam, Tanme Bruhi Sunishchitam. Arjuna is asking a question to Krishna. Krishna, first of all, you tell me that you have to renounce work. It means sannyasam. And again, you recommend to act with devotion, to work with devotion. 2 things you're telling simultaneously. Looks like, right? Many things Krishna has spoken so far, the last 4 chapters. So Arjuna is putting forward his inquiry. Is the way Prabhupada says, when a proper disciple is supposed to put, questions in a submissive way to elicit proper answers, so that he gets clarity with regard to what he's understanding. Right? So he's putting forward to Krishna his question that you have told me so many things about karmanam sannyasa, means your renunciation, giving up all things. And also you have told me, you're recommending me work with devotion. So can you kindly tell me definitely which is the best path? Yashriya etayor ekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Sunishchitam means definitely tell me what is the right course of action for me. So Arjuna's question is simple. Whether I should cease work altogether, I should not do anything, or should I work with full knowledge? This is the question. Right? So it's a very wonderful question. So Prabhupada goes on to say, basically, the summary of 5th chapter is this, that Krishna is going to recommend you have to work in the background of devotional service. This is better than simply giving up activities or renouncing activities. So from the very beginning, from 3rd chapter, Krishna has been pointing out one important concept with regard to Arjuna's mindset that I want to give up everything, renounce everything, and become a sannyasi. Right? That was his one of the decisions which Arjuna had taken at one point of time in second chapter. I think better I go out, take ask bhiksha, say perform bhiksha, and go to forest. That was his one recommendation he was giving for his course of action, because he was confused what to do. So Krishna has been addressing this aspect of dry renunciation, or as Prabhupada says, dry mental speculation. Because there is a class of philosophers or transcendentalists known as Mayavadis. And Prabhupada is going to give us a comparative understanding between a Mayavadi and a devotee. Right? Mayavadis have the philosophy of renouncing everything and just concentrate on impersonal Brahman. Right? That is also one very wonderful perspective Prabhupada goes on in every purport in this chapter. So here, the general understanding of people is that spiritual life or spirituality means you have to just be aloof from everything, go to a secluded place and sit and just do meditation. Krishna recommends something different here. Right? He says, spiritual life means actively be involved with all your senses, with mind attached to him and working for him 24 hours. That is the recommendation. That is the highest sannyasa. That is called sannyasa. Okay, more clarity will come as we move forward in the next chapters. But right now, this question of Arjuna is, Prabhupada nicely brings up the whole, how it has come, how this question has come. Prabhupada says in second chapter, Krishna gave a preliminary knowledge of soul. A science of soul was given. And how soul is entangled right now in the material body. And Krishna also recommended that by practice of buddhi yoga or devotional service, the soul can be released from this entanglement. This is the second chapter. Which means Krishna was speaking about bhakti yoga, buddhi yoga in that. Work in devotion, he mentioned. And in third chapter, Krishna was specifically mentioning in verses 17, 18, 19. If you see, that one who is on the platform of proper understanding, proper knowledge, he has no duties to perform. Right? You see those verses. Yes, Tvatmaratireva Syad Atmatuptascha Manava, third chapter. Right? Right? He has no purpose to fulfill, he has no duty to perform. All these things Krishna is mentioning, that one who has come to this transcendental level, he has nothing to do. So in second chapter, Krishna mentioned about Bhakti Yoga, to come out of this entanglement. Third chapter looks like you told me one is advanced in knowledge, nothing is required. In fourth chapter, Krishna said, in fact, all the sacrificial work culminates in knowledge. Krishna very nicely mentioned. That's Sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Verse 33 of fourth chapter. Right? Sarvam karmakhilam partha means all activities, all sacrifices culminate in knowledge. And towards the end, Krishna again mentioned, Arjuna, you please wake up and fight. Because Arjuna was hesitating to fight. And in what way you have to fight? Being situated in perfect knowledge, you fight. Armed with yoga, you fight, Krishna says in the last verse of fourth chapter. Atishtotishtha Bharata, Yogam Atishtotishtha Bharata. Armed with yoga, stand up and fight. So second chapter, he told about Bhakti Yoga. Third chapter looks like one who is situated in knowledge, nothing has to be done. Give up everything and just be satisfied within yourself. Fourth chapter, Krishna is once telling that the culmination of all activities is knowledge, and again you're telling me you get up and fight with the proper understanding. So looks like simultaneously Krishna is stressing both work in devotion and inaction in knowledge. Right? Looks like that. Very nice. Prabhupada so nicely explaining. No? Simultaneously, Krishna is stressing work in devotion. The second chapter, so extensively, Krishna explained all those things. And third chapter, fourth chapter looks like stressing, inaction in knowledge. So, one sense, Arjuna is little confused, perplexed. So, Arjuna also knows, Prabhupada says, Arjuna also knows that renunciation in proper understanding means you have to give up all kind of sense gratification. Right? But action in devotional service actually is something which is transcendental, which is beyond the sense gratificatory tendency. So basically, Arjuna's background of asking this question is that generally the perception people have is that sannyasa means no activity, right? Shanti, right? The shanti is not the understanding. What does Krishna say? You may be shanti from outside, but inside your mind is working towards looking for sense objects. Karmendriyani manasa. Verse number 6 of third chapter, Krishna says, Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasasmaram indriyartham vimudhati. A pretender. Externally, you may show off as though your senses and organs of action are all controlled, but your mind is dwelling on sense objects. Your mind is contemplating on sense objects. Then you're a pretender. So this aspect of sannyasa is not simply externals. Prabhupada says, what is there? If I take maybe 100 rupees, I get some color. This white dress will become saffron color. So I become sannyasi. No. Sannyasi is not about dress. Basically, sannyasa means what is your attitude towards this world? What is this world around me and what is my position? Right? That is what sannyasa means. A sannyasi knows truly that everything is Krishna's property, everything should be engaged in Krishna's service. Sat nyasa. Nyasa means to give up everything. For what? For Sat, for absolute truth. Sannyasa means renouncing everything for absolute truth, not renouncing everything for nothing. That is of no use. That mentality, that attitude is what is sannyasa. Right? So, Prabhupada says, Arjuna appears not to have understood that working in full knowledge that Krishna is the proprietor, I am his part and parcel, I am his servant, everything should be engaged in Krishna's service. This is actually akarma, this is non-reactive. Right? But a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school or impersonalists, they think we should not do anything, we should not touch money. Money means Maya. Right? Like that, they're very afraid. So Prabhupada says, give me more money, I will engage in Krishna's service. Difference. Right? So like this, Arjuna's basic question is just to dissipate the ignorance society has with regard to this word sannyasa. Sannyasa is not about dress. Sannyasa is your attitude of service to Krishna. Now, what is the mindset you have? This is going to be more clear when you go to next chapter, 6th chapter. Krishna is going to define sannyasa very nicely. Again, it is just a beginning. So, spiritual life means your outlook towards this world around you and your actual situation and acting accordingly what Krishna wants us to be, act that way. Not simply your imagination of something. That's why Prabhupada begins. That Krishna in the 5th chapter says that work in devotional service is better than dry mental speculation. Dry mental speculation means you are just going on churning something within your mind, just like in a mixie or a grinder. Whatever you have put only will be grinding now. So whatever you know, that only is grinding inside, not beyond. Nothing external comes. In devotional service, what happens is you are constantly associating with Krishna by His holy name, through His holy name, by hearing Bhagavad Gita, by performing Lord's, having darshan, but energy transfer happens. Energy transfer is going to give you, it's going to vitalize you. Same grinder you're grinding, something else you put extra. Say that chutney you're grinding with only coconut. You put some coriander and some other green leaves, pudina. Chutney will become green, no? White chutney becomes green. Correct, Susila ji? So like that, while in devotional service, what happens? Your whole perspective of what is this life, everything keeps going on improving. You will not remain white chutney, always grinding yourself. That's the point. Okay, that's what Krishna is telling us here. 5th chapter, Krishna says, work in devotional service is better than dry mental speculation. Because there are impersonalists, Mayavadis, who think on churning your mind, speculation, and that is life. Go on studying Vedanta from your own perspective. That is what is the perfection of life. No, that is not the perfection. So here, Arjuna is in one way trying to see his own personal level. Is asking, I'm confused, Krishna, whether I should cease work altogether or should I work in full knowledge or fight with full understanding, as you're told. What I should do. One more parallel understanding which Prabhupada is giving us here. Renunciation or sannyasa is not simply with externals. It is with a proper knowledge, proper understanding. It's not simply speculation. You imagine something and I give up everything. No, that's not the thing. Right? That's what generally the perception is. Right? No activity. It should be all shunya. It should all be impersonal. No, that is not the way. Right? So what does Krishna say? Krishna Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishrayasa karavubhav tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. Krishna says, definitely the renunciation of work is sannyasa and karma yoga, that is work in devotion, are both good for liberation. But of the two, Krishna says, karma yoga is better, vishishyate. Work in devotional service is better than karma sannyasa. Very direct answer Krishna is giving. Right? So, Prabhupada explains the meaning of word karma. What does karma mean? Activities seeking sense gratification, which means I act and the results I want to enjoy. That is called fruitive activity in Prabhupada's way of expressing it. And this karma is the cause of our bandhana, karma bandhana, bondage. Right? So, as long as activities is performed for one's bodily needs, bodily comfort, this is going to bind you in this material world. This is what Krishna explained in 3rd chapter. Yagnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha, verse number 9. Right? Any activity is not aimed towards satisfaction of Krishna, but only for your own and extended gratification, going to be karma bandhana. It will not liberate you. So, this is what is going on in our existence since so many lives. Prabhupada is quoting from Srimad Bhagavata, 5th canto, Rishabdev's instructions to his son, to his 100 sons. Very nicely, Rishabdev is telling that people are mad after sense gratification. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. And so as they are so bad after sense gratification, they are doing all sorts of nonsense activities. They only know, their only aim of life is how to enjoy senses and maximize sense gratification. So Rishabhdev says, this is not good. Why? Because a life like this is going to only create more and more miseries, not only in this life, but in the future life. Miserable, why? Because you're going to get one more body, a degraded body, abominable body. This body, even though it is temporary, is always giving you so many problems, always. So a life like this, Rishabhdev says, it is only aimed at sense gratification. The aim is only, maximizing comforts of the body is a defeat. There is no success in that life. Whereas people think, oh, having nice facilities, nice comforts, improving the standard of our living in terms of material, way of life, that is success. But Rishabhdev says it is actually parabhava. It's a defeat. It's considered to be a failure in your life because you're only running after sense gratification. You have not done any inquiry about the reality of your existence. Who are you? Jijñāsata atma tattvam. Sukadeva Goswami says, apashyatam atma tattvam. Atma tattva. I am spirit soul. Actually, I am not the body. This inquiry you have not made. So as long as your existence goes on like this, you're bound in karma and karmic, action-reaction cycles. This is going to give you body. You're going to change body after body. Like this, if you're going on in the life of illusion and ignorance like this, engrossed in karma, this is never going to end for you. It is you're going to continue as nitya baddha or ever conditioned life. So please develop Vasudeva Priti. Pritirmayayam Mai Vasudeva. To develop Priti towards Vasudeva means develop love for Krishna, devotion to Krishna. That is the only way out. That is the only way that human form of life has opportunity to develop love for Krishna, perform bhakti. That is going to be path of liberation. Right? This is the instruction of Rishabhdev. So in this background, Krishna is talking. Right? So Krishna, same Lord Krishna appeared as Lord Rishabhdev because whatever instructions Krishna gives in different incarnations in various time, place, circumstances are all same instruction based on situations. In different ways, Krishna explains. So Prabhupada very nicely explains. With regard to the sannyasa, generally, the Mayavadi sannyas, impersonalists, they're called Gyanis. They know that Brahma Satya, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, spirit soul. This, Prabhupada says, is not sufficient for liberation. Right? You have to not only understand that you are Brahman, but also act on the platform of Brahman. That's what devotional service is. You don't simply, intellectualize and understand Vedanta, that, this and all, but no action. No. In devotional service, you act, every action what you do is based on the understanding that I am Brahman. So Prabhupada says, one has to act in the status of spirit soul. Otherwise, you'll again fall down. You'll again be in bondage only. So, Prabhupada is again confirming, basically, with regard to the Mayavada understanding, the impersonal school of understanding, that they say that I have renounced the world. But that type of renunciation, Prabhupada says, is artificial renunciation. Without proper understanding why you are renouncing. Right? Whereas, with regard to artificial renunciation or incomplete renunciation, Prabhupada quotes from Rupa Goswami. There are two important verses of Rupa Goswami. Now, one of the verses is this: Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastuna. A person who is eager to achieve liberation, he is renouncing everything, but he doesn't know the connection with Krishna. Hari sambandhi vastuna. Mumukshibi, he wants liberation. Parityaga, he is renouncing everything. and he's, renounced family, connection, everything. But he doesn't have a proper understanding that everything belongs to Krishna, has to engage everything in Krishna. Right? His mind is still, in the materialistic concept of life. He's just externally renouncing things. Such renunciation, Krishna says, Rupa Goswami says, is incomplete renunciation. It's artificial renunciation. Why? Because Falgu Vairagya. Falgu means, it is a river called Falgu in Gaya. A river bed, from top it looks like sandy. But little you go, put your hand or put your leg, is full of water below. So it is little, illusory. External something, internal something. So it is Falgu Vairagya. Other way, Prabhupada says, Markata Vairagya. Artificially renouncing things, but internally you are having all type of prapancha. All materially, attached. Material attachment is there inside, but externally you show as that is not proper. Incomplete renunciation or artificial renunciation. This is not proper. Right? Properly understanding that, as one more verse which Rupa Goswami says in the same connection, he says, Anasaktasya Vishyan Yatharham Upayunjata Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. A sadhaka, as devotee, is not attached to anything which he is using it for Krishna's service as for personal enjoyment. Anasaktasya Vishaya. Generally, people are attached to things what they use for their for their work. Oh, my car, my house, my things. The devotee knows all these things Krishna given is used for his service. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Right? So this is called Yukta Vairagya. Two types of Vairagya, Rupa Goswami explains. Yukta Vairagya, Falgu Vairagya. Right? So the whole purpose of Krishna telling that yes, renunciation is good. It's better than being attached to so many things. But renunciation without proper understanding of Krishna consciousness is incomplete. It is not perfect. There is a chance of, again, coming back to the material platform anytime. Prabhupada often gives the example, the Mayavadi sannyasis, the famous Ramakrishna ashram. They are Mayavadi sannyasis. They are renounced everything. Then why are they opening hospitals? Why are they into so many social service activities? If they think this world is mithya, is false, why have to again come down here? It's a very important understanding we should have with regard to how, when you're renouncing everything as false, they say Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. The spiritual life is truth. This world is all illusory. If this illusory world, why you have to come here again, performing some social service? It's a question. Right? So they don't have the complete or proper understanding that this world is not mithya, this world also is satya, because it's coming from satya only, param satya. Lord is supreme absolute truth, and that is his world, material world. Your perception of the material world is what is wrong. If you take the material world as for your enjoyment, that is mithya. That understanding is mithya. All that mithya is in your mind. World is existing, illusory. Of course, it is temporary. Right? Ashashvata, but it is a fact. Right? Prabhupada gives a nice example. You have built a nice house after so much of hard labor and all your savings invested and built a house. Your friend will come and say, oh, it's all mithya, illusory. How will you feel? What is this? So much of hard work I have put and I built this house. So likewise, from Krishna's perspective, you say this world is mithya, you are actually accusing Krishna. Krishna has created this world for you because you wanted a world independent of Krishna, or rather without Krishna. So Krishna is there behind back, but you cannot see him in this material world. So this is the fine understanding which Prabhupada wants to tell us. A devotee or a sadhaka who is actually performing devotional service He knows that everything is Krishna's property and everything should be engaged in Krishna's service. This is called Yukta Vairagya. Right? Whereas renounce the Falgu Vairagi or artificial renunciation or incomplete renunciation is that they don't see this, they don't have this perspective, because finally for them the absolute truth is impersonal, Nirakara. This all world is only illusory, it'll all go away. But how this world came up, they can't explain. That's the problem. So this is what Krishna is telling. Finally, actually, yes, renunciation of work, both will take you to the level of liberation, no doubt. Even the Mayavadi sannyasis, Krishna explains. Impersonalists, they go up to the point of liberation. In 12th chapter also Krishna confirms that. Impersonalists also go up to the point of liberation. But liberation means what? Liberation from out of this material world you go. If you go to the Brahma Jyoti, that is also liberation. But for devotees, they go beyond Brahma Jyoti, they go to spiritual planets. Prabhupada gives an example. You go in an airplane above the ground, in the sky. How long you can stay in the sky? Not much time. You have to come down in a place where there is habitation, where there are people, where there is interaction. You cannot stay in the sky forever. Right? So, this situation of impersonalists merging with impersonal Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, is unstable because they don't have the proper understanding. Bhagavata says, Aruhya Kritsrena Param Padam Tataha Anartha Ishmadangraya. Because they have not taken shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, their buddhi, their intelligence is become polluted. Avishuddha buddhaya. They again fall down. That's why I give an example of Mayavadi sannyasis. They think, oh, Brahman is Satya, there we have to go. Then why they are again falling down the material world and doing all social service activities? Which means, they don't find there, there's no enjoyment for them, there is no happiness there, no Brahmasukha. They're coming down again and doing so many things. This is what is happening. Right? So next question, next verse number 3. Nesa nitya sannyasi yona dveshtina kamshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukam bandhat pramuchyate. So this again, Krishna is giving a practical understanding with regard to a karma yogi, a person who is performing devotional service, work in devotion. Krishna said is better than sannyasa. So in that context, Krishna is talking, saying this person who is in performing devotional service, he neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities, and he is always renounced. Nitya sannyasi. Every action he does, he has no attachment, he has no hatred. Generally, when we perform any action, we are attached to results, right? And we are, we don't want failure. We only want success. That is called, attachment and detachment. So, whereas with regard to a devotee, Prabhupada gives an example of Rupa Goswami, how when he was in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami was sent to Vrindavan to rejuvenate the lost holy places, to establish the lost holy places of Vrindavan. So there was one very wealthy merchant from Sindh province, Pakistan, that time, who came and wanted to offer some service. So Rupa Goswami said, you build temple here for Govindji. So that person built, spent a lot of money and built a temple. So which means the Acharyas, Goswamis have shown us, they don't have that hate for money. Money is also Krishna's energy only, Lakshmi. When used for Krishna's service, that money which is actually in an ordinary person's hand as Maya will become Lakshmi. The Maya potency will be converted to spiritual potency. This Prabhupada says, this is, Ravana's policy is what? Kidnap Sita, right? Likewise, the ordinary people, generally, karmis, who want to enjoy fruits in this material world, they want to enjoy money for themselves. Whereas devotees' policy is what? Prabhupada says Hanuman policy. To connect Sita again to Rama. So devotees want to see that the money which people are having will be again collected to Krishna's service, Narayana's service. Lakshmi back to Narayana. So we have a program, in our temples called Lakshmi Liberation Program, life membership program. So you want to approach people and liberate Lakshmi so that they also get benefit. Otherwise, the same Lakshmi is used as Maya in their life and getting entangled. Okay. So we don't hate money. Right? Rather, we want to engage everything in Krishna's service. So Prabhupada says, person who is fully in Krishna consciousness is always the renouncer. Why? Because he has no such dualistic understanding of hating, desiring, because everything is for Krishna's service. Whatever Krishna sanctions, whatever happens, happens. Let me do my best. Right? So, this person in Krishna consciousness means he is acting with proper understanding, proper knowledge. This was the question which Arjuna put. Should I work in knowledge or should I not work? So Krishna is again answering that question only. Yes, you should work in knowledge. And one who is working in knowledge, the symptom is that he neither hates nor desires the results of his activities, results of his actions, because he has proper understanding of what is his actual situation. I am part and parcel of Krishna. Prabhupada very nicely explains. I am part and parcel. I am qualitatively, I am same, equal. Quantitatively, I am very minute. This is a proper understanding. Whereas the impersonalists, Mayavadis say that I am qualitatively and quantitatively also same. Actually, Mayavadis, Prabhupada says, we are all Narayana. They say Rogi Narayana, patient Narayana. In their hospitals, they have arati for the Rogis, patients. It's all a Narayana. It's a goat Narayana. Goat Narayana you can kill and it'll come inside your fate or your stomach Narayana. Right? Like this, that Narayana will go enter this Narayana. Oh, like this, so many misconceptions and wrong understandings they go on. Everything is Narayana. Then where is other Narayana? Narayana is, we are only Narayana. We become Narayana. Like this, they start talking. So, this understanding is not correct. We are a small, servant of Narayana. That is the proper understanding. So, this understanding is perfect in person who is in Krishna consciousness or a devotee. So, in that way, there is no such duality. Nirdvandvo, Krishna says. He has no duality of things. Duality basically means of so many things which Krishna has explained in the previous chapters, second chapter at least, he has mentioned many dualities, heat, cold, all these various things, which otherwise normally people take it as a point of their life in this material world. Happiness, distress. Right? He knows whatever is there is sanctioned by Krishna. Right? So, Prabhupada says there is no duality in his mind because whatever he does for Krishna. He has very fixed understanding. So that is such a person, Krishna says, is actually in a happy situation. He's actually liberated in one sense. He's free from all the bondage. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. He's free from all the platform of dualities. He's liberated even in this material world. Right? So basically, Krishna is telling here, and giving the principle of achintya bheda bheda tattva. This is the philosophy which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented to us, which means simultaneously we are one and different. Simultaneously one and different means we are qualitatively same, quantitatively different. Prabhupada gives example of a drop of ocean water, which is qualitatively same with the ocean water, but the quantity of ocean water is huge compared to a drop. Our position is like that. This philosophy is the perfect philosophy which explains our real situation. So this understanding devotee has. That's why he is a Nitya Sannyasi, which means he's always renounced, he's always in a mood of renunciation. Because he knows what is my real situation, what is Krishna's position, everything should be done for his service. He's always constantly is doing, so there's no duality in his mind. There's no other thought in his mind. Okay. So verse number 4. Sankhya yogo prutak balaha pravadantina panditaha ekamapi asita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Krishna is trying to explain the same subject in different perspectives. Now he's telling there are some ignorant people, balaha. Balaha means like young, very, very small, ignorant children are called balaha, unintelligent people. Right? There are some ignorant, unintelligent people. They make distinction between karma yoga and sankhya. Sankhya means, again, the jnanis get into analysis of this material world. Proper analysis of this material world, how this material world is made up of, what is the source of this material world, where these elements are coming from, is called Sankhya. In the Western world is called metaphysics, right? The analytical study of the material world. Right? What is the source of all the different things? They say this whole world is made up of 24 elements that they go on analyzing. So this is explained in Bhagavatam by Lord Kapila, Lord Krishna's incarnation. In what is known as Sankhya Yoga is explained. So there are people who are less intelligent. They distinguish, oh, Sankhya Yoga is different, Karma Yoga is different. But Krishna is telling us here that actually devotional service or Karma Yoga and this Sankhya Yoga, analytical study of the material world, both are actually, there's no difference. Right? Because those who are learned, so two words Krishna is using is, one is balaha, which are poor, ignorant, unintelligent, they think like that. But those who are panditaha, they don't see any such distinction. Because in Sankhya Yoga, analysis of the whole material world into how it is made up of, how it is constituted, you're trying to find the source. And source is Krishna. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita also, aham sarvasya prabhava. Everything emanates from me. Sankhya philosophy is trying to find the root of this, a root cause of the material world. And devotional service means, Krishna says, when you have found the root, what are the root? Right? Offering service to Krishna. So in one sense, in Sankhya Yoga, you're trying to find the root. In devotional service, you're serving the root from the very beginning. So Prabhupada says, basically, in essence, there is no difference between the two because the aim of both is Vishnu only. Right? So those who don't know the aim is the same, from either in Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, they make accusations. Oh, this is different, that is different. But one who is actually in a proper understanding, proper background, he knows that the goal is same. There is one goal for both of them. Why Krishna is telling this verse is basically to clarify that with regard to Jnana path, wherein they are working towards renunciation, Tyaga, they think, oh, Bhakti is different, our path is different. To just clarify that, Krishna is making this statement. Because in the Jnanic process, or speculative process, is that getting on, going, analyzing things. But actually, if analyzed properly, you'll come to this conclusion that Krishna is the source of everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Right? Next verse. Yat sankhai prapyate sthanam tad yoge rapi gamyate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha ya pashyati sa pashyati. Krishna is again reconfirming what he said in the previous verse. What is achieved by, or what is reached by this Sankhya process, that is analytical process, or the path of renunciation, Krishna is using that. Prabhupada is translating that way. The path of renunciation and the path of devotional service. the same position you're going to reach. Ekam Sankhyam cha Yogam cha. Right? One is philosophical research, then the path of bhakti. The goal is the same, self-realization, process. Right? By philosophical research and renouncing things in the material world, you want to come and finally reach Lord Krishna, Vasudeva. Whereas in Krishna consciousness, from the very beginning, you are offering your services to Krishna. Right? So Prabhupada very nicely explains. In the process of Sankhya, you want to become detached from matter, the path of renunciation. And in the devotional yoga process, you have to attach yourself to Krishna for the work of Krishna, for service of Krishna. So both are in one sense same, because superficially it may look like one is detachment from matter, one is attachment to Krishna, but both is actually same. Attachment from matter, detachment from matter, attachment to Krishna are one and the same. That's what Krishna is saying. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. So, why Krishna is speaking all these things is that to clarify to us the proper understanding of things, because Mayavada school of thought is that they miss out the source is person Krishna. That's the problem. If you properly get into the details of analysis of the Vedanta understanding, you come to the right understanding that Krishna as a person, he is the source. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha, janmadhyasayataha. Right? They try to interpret, Mayavadis try to interpret Vedic knowledge in their own way. Right? Trying to prove, but finally absolute truth, God is impersonal. That is wrong. So Krishna is again reiterating the point that actually speaking, Vedanta or the Vedic philosophy of different various philosophical understandings are all converging to one point. Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna has to be offered, Krishna has to be worshipped. That is the point. Vedesha sarver ahameva vedya. 15th chapter Krishna says, from all the Vedas, I am to be known. So to summarize what you have just now understood in this chapter, this chapter begins with Arjuna's question of whether I have to whether I have to give up all works, that is, whether I have to renounce all works, or should I work in devotion? Please tell me what is the right course of action. Krishna explains that yes, both are good. Renunciation of work and sannyasa and also karma yoga, both are good for liberation. But I prefer work in devotion. This is what the whole 5th chapter is going to tell us. Work is better than dry renunciation. Because renunciation in its true spirit, in the proper way, when as per the Vedic way of doing it, is right. But right now, in Kali Yuga, it is all watered down in different ways. Mayavada, this, and so many things they have, it has become. So renunciation has become totally watered down in one sense. Strictly speaking, true sense, renunciation is good, Krishna says, good for liberation. But it is, in Kali Yuga, it is all watered down, just taken a different form and shape. So Krishna says, a true renouncer is one who is a renouncer all the time, one who is, he has the proper understanding of what is situation, and is not hating or desiring anything, is everything offering to Krishna. He has no such dualities in his mind. He has one pointed offering to Krishna only. Right? He is a person who is free from all bondage, actually. And further Krishna says, only people of less intelligence, they try to make distinction like this. Oh, this path of renunciation is this way, it is different, it is different. But all of them, actually, if you properly analyze, it's all aiming towards one goal only. Right? That's what Krishna is saying to tell us here. So this is the understanding which Krishna is giving in the first 5 verses. I suggest that all of you read these verses, purpose, and also hear Prabhupada's lectures on this to get more insight and be prepared for moving forward. Because this chapter requires some philosophical, your involvement, philosophical understanding. Then you can understand this chapter, but otherwise it will be all here and there. It requires little more involvement from your side. And it is not that straightforward talks which Krishna is talking, like what we saw in 4th chapter. So little straightforward. Here it is having so many other connected aspects. Okay. Fine. Any questions? Any clarifications? Doubts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please can you tell us what is the meaning and the purpose of Phala Shrutis? Phala Shruti in, say, in Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes even in Ramayana, time to time we read Phala Shrutis. So what is the purpose of that? Can you please tell us?
Phala Shruti. Okay.
Yes, please.
Because in the material world, we are running after phala, fruits. Right? For every karma we do, we want a phala, karma phala. Anything we do, we expect a result. That is our sort of a default way of perception and action. If I see there is no phala in the action I do, I'm not interested. So, to in fact keep in line with our default tendency of expecting result in every action, scriptures are trying to mention Phala Shruti. Okay, if you, it's like it is today you're reading Maharaj pastime. If you can chant this on a Sunday or the end of the month or during some auspicious time, nicely, the proper hearing, then you'll develop the same character like Dhruva Maharaj. About Gajendra pastime, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, Phala Shruti. If you can hear this Gajendra Stotra properly every month, then you will not have bad dreams. So, because people are always looking for some relief from material problems, right? The material. So, for them, at least this gives a sense of assurance. Oh, if I do this, I'll get something. So at least to bring them to the level of performing devotional service, it may be akama. Right? So Bhagavata says, akama, sarvakama, mokshakama, udaradhi. You may not have any material desires, akama. Sarvakama, you have so many desires. Or you have mokshakama. Just like we are discussing about the Gyanis, the Mayavadis. Their desire is mokshakama. I want to merge with impersonal Brahman. Bhagavatam prescribes, whatever it may be, tivrena bhakti yogena. You perform devotional service with utmost seriousness. Because anything else you do other than bhakti is only going to entangle you. At least bhakti path will at least give you that sense as you move forward in your process, in your journey of bhakti, that oh, what am I doing? Is this what I'm trying to achieve from this? It's like I gave the example of Dhruva. Dhruva began his bhakti with material intentions. Oh, I want a kingdom. That's the reason he went to forest.
Yeah.
Insulted. He was looking for phala, right? But the phala which he got was something, when he realized, in the course of performance of bhakti, his heart purified and realized, what am I looking for? I was looking for pieces of glass. I got a valuable jewel. Such a fool I am. So, this Phala Shruti is just to induce a common man to become more and more serious in bhakti. Because right now, a common man is driven with the desire that, is driven by the desire for sense gratification so much strongly. So strongly that if we have to induce him, then the only way is to give some, some actions, some allurements. Just like all of you parents, you know how children, they don't take medicine, right? You have to give them a sugar-coated medicine. You tell them it's a chocolate, take it. But finally, you have to give them medicine. So this Falashruti is one sense is for, see, finally, Krishna doesn't want us to remain in the material world and go on enjoying here. Fine. At least getting up, at least coming out from that platform of not even hearing about Krishna and nothing doing, at least do with something about Krishna. Just like we have seen people generally in, at least in South India, I know, they have the Satyanarayana Puja. Right? You have heard this. Satyanarayana Puja.
Yes.
Very, very common. Satyanarayana Puja, they think is a ritual. And they have that reading of Satyanarayana Puja, doing that ritual.
Yeah.
They do. Okay. I would rather say that is better than not doing anything. Right? At least doing some level they will come to. Right? So, in that way, Vedic understanding or Vedic scriptures, especially the process of bhakti is a spectrum. What all, okay, somewhere you begin, somewhere you come to one level and go on some other level. Just like even when you begin, I told you about this, give the example of offering food. In the beginning, you may be doing it as a ritual.
Yeah.
Right? Falashruti. What is Falashruti of doing that? Oh, you should eat simply that food, the other food is going to entangle you. This at least is better.
Yeah.
You may not have all that devotional feeling and the mood of love, affection, which Krishna is expecting from us while offering. But at least you begin somewhere and gradually move forward. That's the idea. Right?
Yes.
See, devotees are not attached to, when devotees are moving forward, they are not worried about Falashruti and all. Right? They are, they're only just like in this year we had this Adhika Masa. Adhika Masa, I decided that you should not perform good activities, you should not do that activity, no ritual, nothing. But it is, devotees can do devotion all the time, 24 hours, 365 days. There is no such, nobody, there is no such inauspicious thing in this, right? That's the point. So, Falashruti is for people who want to, just enjoy things in their own way and want to, have that mentality of strong sense gratification, for them to bring them to the level of at least following, or bring them to the point of following the principles of bhakti to some level. Begin somewhere. That's the point.
Yeah.
Inducement. That's the idea. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any other question? Any other clarification? So this chapter requires, as I told you, some serious study from your side, because this has some. You have to really have that philosophical understanding properly in this chapter. Otherwise, it'll go above the head.
We will read these verses again and again, Prabhuji.
And
What
this
we
chapter,
just covered.
this chapter, 13th chapter, 14th chapter, it all requires some serious, Prabhupada says, philosophical study. Right? Okay. So I'll close now. Stop here. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.